So I won't go crazy as a leader as long as, check this out, I create healthy boundaries. And I just want you to know, as your pastor, I was the worst at this. The worst at this. Part of it is because I think I was so desperate when I started our church. Everywhere I went, I was trying to get people to come to our church. And I was just so certain that if I just served them enough, they would come and never leave. You got to know, even the Lord Jesus Christ had boundaries. So Jesus Christ, right? He doesn't have social media that's calling out to you every single day. Hey, get involved. Hey, have an opinion. Hey, stand up for this. Hey, post this. So there's no social media when Jesus Christ is alive, but he's walking through a crowd and somebody shouts at him. That's what social media does. That's what the news does. That's what your friends do. They shout at him from the crowd, "Teacher, please tell my brother to divide my father's estate with me." Jesus replied, listen to this. Here's the Son of God, the judge of everyone. He says, "Friend, who made me judge over you to decide such things?" You know what Jesus did? He just created a boundary. He said, that's not why I'm here. That's not a part of my mission. And we have to ask ourselves as Christians, is this something that I'm supposed to be a part of? Because here's the thing you need to know about crazy people. Crazy people don't have boundaries. They will call you all night long. They will wear you down, and as soon as you're dead, move on to the next person. And they won't feel bad about it. But as Christians, a lot of us, we read this verse, hey, I'm under an obligation. Yeah, those who are strong are under an obligation to help the weak. It doesn't mean you need to be dumb about it. But a lot of us have a hard time with boundaries. I had a huge problem with boundaries. Boundaries are guidelines, rules, or limits that a person creates, listen to this, to identify for themselves things that are reasonable, safe, and permissible ways for other people to behave around them. So if people start screaming at me, they got an opinion on vaccinations one way or the other, I don't have to stand there and listen to it. It's not good for me. Okay, I've been screamed at in all kinds of places. Like one time, the worst was in Home Depot parking lot as I'm literally pushing all of our stuff into our car. This guy's just reading me the riot act, screaming. You know what? I don't have to respond to him. He was out of his mind. I need to make sure that I don't go out of my mind. Because who do you think is going to be on social media? Me or Captain Rando, right? Nobody knows who he is. And I'm not famous enough, but I'm famous enough that if I do something really stupid, everybody's going to know who your pastor is. Oh, you go to Sandals. Yeah, well, look at this guy on Instagram. He's losing his mind. You're like, yeah, I don't go there anymore. I don't know what happened. But you need to be careful. So you got to create boundaries. And you got to think about, how am I going to respond when someone steps outside those limits? See, some of you are mad at God because you keep finding yourself in a cage with a gorilla, and God's like, show me the verse where I said get into the cage with the gorilla. Listen to me, it's okay to say no. God says no to you every day. Some of you call those unanswered prayer requests. No, God answered, you didn't like the answer. So God says no. You can say no. It's okay to say no. And I don't know about you guys, but I always feel like I have to have a reason. I have to have a reason to say no. Oh, man, I'd love to. But I'm so busy. Man, if it wasn't, you know. Or we do the Jesus juke. Let me pray about it. I'm not sure. You can just say no. You can just say no. 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 And here's the thing is, some people will then respond like a 2-year-old. And adults that can't handle no have never really become adults. No, I can't do that thing. I can't. Next, set limits. Especially with crazy needy people, you got to set limits. Look, you can't call me after 10 o'clock. If you keep calling me, I'm going to change my phone, and I'm not going to give you my new number. Stop. Don't come over to my house. Don't park in front of my house. I've had all of these conversations with wonderfully gifted people. Don't work out every time I go to the gym, I had somebody follow me while I was running down Victoria Avenue in their white van with no windows. So I said, A, don't do that, and B, buy a different car, bro. It's not, you look like an axe murderer. He's a sweet guy. He hates it when I tell that story. But it was a conversation we had to have. So don't be afraid to say no. Create a boundary. And let me tell you something. Those of you who feel like you're going crazy, what it means is you're terrible at creating boundaries. You don't know where you end and they begin. You don't know. And that's why you say they're making me crazy, because you think you're one. You're not one. And if, just to prove it to you, you can hold your hand up like this, and wherever your hand ends, that's where you end. Like, I'm not beyond this. This is me. God has given us physical boundaries for a reason. And so you need to learn to have emotional and spiritual boundaries.